While I was walking home, it started raining, just what I needed. I thought to myself, if I had no umbrella by the time I was in the middle of the road across the forest with no place to take cover, I decided to keep walking and wait for a car to pass and maybe hitchhike. Around 10 minutes later, I was thinking what to do when a car approached from behind. I looked back in the car, stopped by my side. Slowly, the car window was opened and I could see a man inside. It was dark, so I couldn't see his face. I heard the man asking, "Do you need a ride?" As I was walking, I told him, "Yes, please," because there's no way I was going to keep walking like this. The guy looked like an old man and was skinny and had a wrinkly face. He didn't look dangerous at all. He actually seemed nice. We did a small talk. While we were talking along the way, I told the guy to drop me here and I could walk the rest. After the rain had stopped, repeated again, "You can drop me here." He said, "No, not yet. You're not ready." What? I thought to myself, I'm not ready for what? As I was getting nervous, I tried once more. "Please, let me out." Here he looked at me with his eyes wide open. Now I could see his face. The guy looked old and his face was wrinkled with sharp teeth, and he said, "No, again." I felt sick and I thought I was about to throw up as soon as I had stuck there with that guy. I thought my only way would be out to open the door. I tried opening the door, but it was locked, and I was in full panic. And I had felt weakness going through my body by the time I passed out. Finally, my eyes closed and everything went black. I had woke up in the bed before I looked around, and it was like a shack. Place looked trashed and smelled terrible. I got up and saw some basic medical equipment. Then I listened to footsteps outside near the door without having a lot of time. I pretended I was still knocked out and I waited. I didn't keep my eyes shut. I left a small opening. I wanted to see who was coming. The door was opened and I saw someone. I kept opening, closing my eyes very little to make sure he didn't see. As I was watching him, he reached my side of the bed. He turned to the other side and started picking up surgery tools. What was he going to do with me? Instantly, with very little time to make a decision, I needed to do something quickly. God, I knew what was going to happen. I gained courage, then I slowly got up. I started running towards the door. While I was reaching the door, I took a glimpse at night, and there was open door. There was an image, a dead person. I wanted to see, but at that moment I needed to escape. I opened the door and I ran to the woods. It was very dark. I couldn't see where I was going. But I didn't care. I just needed to be far away. From that place, finally, I reached the main road. I kept running and until I found an open diner. I went inside and used their phone. They called the cops and I gave the police a report about what happened. Then they took me safely home. A few months later, I saw on TV that fugitive from an asylum. He was caught, was living in a cabin in the woods, and he was the same guy that kidnapped me. Suddenly, I had the same feeling from that night, but at least the guy had been caught. Never again in my life I hitchhike. So, thank you for listening, guys. I hope this actually is a good story for you. But at the moment, I need to share something with you, which is mainly would be our lesson today. Our lesson today is going to be on something very important. We have to, go through together. It's simple past tenses, simple past tenses, and past tenses in general. Actually, we're going to start with past tense. So, what is the past tense? Past tense is an action simply mentioned and understood that have taken place in the past. The action started and ended sometime in the past, but time may or may not be mentioned. As you can see here, this is past tense. It's an action that took place in the past and was over or finished actually in the past. Okay, let me just do the slideshow so you can see better. This is better, of course. Okay, so the subject, either he or she or it. How to use it? Actually, the verb, it doesn't change by the change of the subject, especially in the past simple tense. So we add d, ed, or ied according to the verb itself. So I played cricket yesterday. You played cricket yesterday. As you can see, the verb didn't change with the change of the subject. Examples, time expressions for the past simple tense to know that something is taking place. Yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, last night, last Friday, 10 minutes ago, 5 years ago, 4 months ago, and so on. Okay, so yesterday, last, or ago, they are all time expressions for the past simple. Well, regular verbs, we have to know when to put d or ed or ied in the verb itself. So if the verb, the infinitive of the verb, is ending in e, we add only d, like live, as you can see here in the example. Live. Live actually ends with an e. So in this case, that means we have to use lived as past simple for that. And if you know, well, we only added the d, as you can see, to the verb. What about ending in vowel? If it ends in vowel, we add ed. Vowel plus y, we add ed, like stay, play, should be ed, stayed or played. If it ends with a consonant plus y, that means we have to add I, change the y to I and add ed, so ied actually. Try, tried, carry, carried, as you can see here. If the verb actually single vowel in and ending in single consonant, like nod, rip, as you can see, vowel and then consonant, vowel and then consonant, vowel and then consonant. We have to double the consonant. Double the consonant. Nod should be nodded. Rip, ripped, as you can see there. If, as we can see, that ends with stress or two syllable, stress on the second syllable and ending in a single consonant, so we also double the consonant. So it should be either committed or preferred. Committed or preferred. Okay, so that's it. And if we go further, past continuous tense. I, he, she, it, we use was. You, we, they, we use were. This is the past continuous tense. Okay, and we add ing to the verb at the end. So I was writing, he was playing, she was reading, we were writing, we were reading. Okay, so it differs actually, but we have to use ing at the end every time we use the past continuous. Okay, by the way, the whole story was about past tenses, when to use past tenses and how to use it actually. I'm going to attach the whole script to you so you can see it right away. All right. Okay, so if we managed actually to know the form, or if we thought more about the form of the past continuous, it has three forms. Affirmative form, we use the subject and then was or were plus the verb with ing. She was cooking all the morning. Okay. If it's negative, should be wasn't or weren't. We add not to was or were. She wasn't, or she weren't sleeping when he came home. Interrogative. Interrogative means when we ask a yes or no question. That means we put the verb to be, which is verb to be in the past, of course, was or were, at the beginning, and then we put the subject and then the verb with ing and then the question mark. Was she sleeping? Was she sleeping when he came home? So here they are. Were they reading when I came home? Okay. Also, we can add the WH question at the beginning in there. For example, we say, what was she doing when he came home? It has the same form actually, but just adding the WH question at the beginning. All right. So moving on to time expressions for past continuous tense. We use when, while, constantly. Constantly means, you know, doing it for a long time. At that time, in those days, all morning, for 4 hours or for hours, and so on. Okay, past continuous tense, explanation of that tense, as we can see here, it means that when something happened in the past and took a specific time frame, we call this, as you can see here, this is a time frame, as you can see. So this time frame, Sue started swimming at 9 a.m. and then until not 10:30, she was still swimming. So between that time, past continuous tense takes place. That means that we're talking about something in the past and it was over as well. However, it took specific time in the past. It lasted for a specific time in the past. As we can see here, she kept swimming for 1.5 hours. Okay, so that means that Sue was swimming for 1.5 hours, or from 9 till 10:30 a.m. Okay, I hope you get this well. All right, when using, actually, we can mix the tenses together with using when or while with the past simple and past continuous. So as you can see here, the past simple tense is a short action without a specific time frame that took place in the past. However, past continuous tense is the long action that took place and took a while to go to be over, took a while to be finished. All right, so we call the past simple tense short action and we call the continuous long action. So when it comes to using when or while, we use when plus the short action and while plus the long action. What's followed by when is the past simple, and what's followed by while is the past continuous. Like this example, as we can see, I was watching TV when Jim knocked the door. The long action and the one that happened earlier, actually, I was sitting down watching TV. All right, something interrupted this action, which is the short action I'm talking about, and in this case would be the past simple, when Jim knocked the door. All right, so that's why we put when in the middle, as you can see, or it can be included at the beginning. When Jim knocked the door, comma, I was watching TV. So make sure if you're using when or while, in the middle, we don't put comma. If we're using them at the beginning, we have to include the comma in between the two clauses within the same sentence. All right, so also, if you would like to use while, Jim knocked the door while I was watching TV, or the other way, while I was watching TV, comma, Jim knocked the door. As can be used as while. As equals while, as you can see here. All right, so we have to make sure we understand this very well. Whenever when or while is at the beginning or in the middle, they have to be followed by their tenses, either short past simple in case of when, or long past continuous in case of while. All right, so past perfect tense, we have to make sure we understand this concept as well very well. We use it this way. In an affirmative way, the subject, and then we use had plus past participle for the verb. She had finished the test. In case of a negative sentence, we use not, had not or hadn't, plus the past participle of the verb. In case of a question, we use the question mark. Had, subject, and then the past participle. Had she finished the test? Or what had she finished? And then the question mark. Time expressions for the past perfect is when, before, by the time, for, or since. Okay? So, one event happened before another one. This is the use of the past perfect. It's always the older tense. And it always comes whenever we're comparing the order of a specific events in the past. The order of specific events in the past. And I can say for sure that the past perfect is always the first event happened or the first action happened before any other action. All right, so this is the earliest and the first event. Always put that in mind and you will understand the past perfect very easy. Okay, so one event happened before another one. The event that happened before, we call it past perfect. The event that happened after, we call it past simple. That's how we use it actually. And we will get to this part later. So, for example, someone broke into my house. We arrived home. What happened first? Of course, this one happened first. Someone broke into the house. So this is past perfect. And this is past simple. So we say it this way. Someone had broken, or by the time we arrived home, someone had broken into our house. Okay? All right. So in this case, as you can see here, also we use it whenever we talk about the cause of doing something, the cause of an action in the past. So for example, this man slept or overslept, so he missed the train. What happened first? Of course, he had overslept. So we say it that way. I missed the train on Monday because I had overslept the night before. Okay, great. All right, so as you can see here, after and as soon as, we follow them by past perfect and then past simple. It can be included in the middle as well. We'll see this right now. After I had eaten my lunch, there should be a comma there. Let me put it for you. After I had eaten my lunch, I slept. Okay? So what happened first is that I had eaten my lunch and then I went to sleep. All right? So you have to put this order in mind this way to know what happened first. I slept as soon as I had eaten my lunch. Okay? All right. So in this one right there, before and by the time, it's always followed by past simple. Before and by the time. Like for example, before my brother traveled to France, he had learned French. Before he went to France, he had learned French. Of course, he had learned French first and then he went to France to be able to speak to the people there. Okay? So before, by the time, if it's in the middle, it's always followed by past simple. Past perfect can be before them if they are in the middle, or after would be the second clause. All right, so till and until, there should be a past simple in a negative way, and then it's followed by past perfect. I didn't go out until I had done my homework. So I wouldn't go out if I'm not done with my homework. So first he did his homework, he had done his homework, and then he went out. Okay? I hope you understand this very well. And this is the end for our lesson today. Thank you very much and have a great day.